We've got an update on the Boomerang. This is the first part. I'm going to hopefully take you right the way through now in this final bit. So the paint is on, and it wasn't without its problems, but it's gone down good enough. I got it to this point and thought I better seal it in with a gloss coat just to be on the safe side, and then when it was in the spray booth, actually flicked ROM65 all over it from another project. So that was a bit of a issue, but I managed to get it off and I've touched it up and we're good to go. So we're just about to head on with the decaling now, and I thought at this point it would be worth telling you what colours we use. So we have got the underside for the sky blue. I have used MRP ROM65, and I think that's a very effective colour for that. So then on the top, it's been 302 for foliage green from the Mr. Colour range, which again I think is very accurate for the Australian colours. It looks like they were darker, well apparently it's 2 tones darker than the RAF colour. Make of that what you will, but that's so that they, when they would fade in the tropical climate, they'd come up to the colour they're meant to be. So the brown was the most tricky, and for it I've used the base of Aqueous H72, which is one of the best dark earth colours you can get, and then mixed in, and had a bit of a disaster with the paint as you can see, mixed in XF68, because again it's meant to be a redder and darker version of dark earth. So I'm pretty happy with those colours. They're the approximate sort of shade I was looking for, and I think it's gone on alright. I did mask up and spray I sprayed the whole aircraft white with the white, masked that off, then sprayed the green all over, then masked that off and did the brown, and I did a colour that I wasn't too happy with, so then I went back over with the mix I mentioned and freehanded that over the pattern, and it's reasonably good. I'm pretty happy with it. The white's in and around the back there. There's a few hazy lines here and there, but they'll all be sorted out in the weathering stage, so we're starting to look pretty good. And I did, whilst I was at it, drill out and add in some gun barrels here on the leading edge of the wing, which has improved those, and a few little touch-ups to do in here. Not sure I'm going to go about that, but I'll probably just pick that out with a brush with interior green down there just to make it a little bit more sensible. So now we're on to the decaling, and here's just a close-up of the colours before we show you the next update. I'll go on and do the decaling off camera and then pop it up afterwards, and we can have a look at how that's gone. So we've moved on a little bit. Apologies for the messy bench and the creaking chair, but as you can probably guess, I'm up against it a little bit here. So I just wanted to do an update from this point, so I can get this one up to you on the Sunday. And then the next one after this is going to be bringing this all together. So if you're watching this on the Sunday, it's worth checking in on Tuesday of the week that's coming, because we'll have more on this one. I'll be doing my weekly show as I usually do, and I'll be going in on this one a little bit more, and I will have been able to do the first panel line wash, etc. By that point. But needless to say, it is all done. Obviously we saw the paint work, now the decals are on, everything's pretty good. We've got some stenciling underneath on most of the filler caps. A little bit of touch-up work here and there, finished off the prop, and all is okay. So that prop is on a metal piece of tubing that's drilled in there, and it will come off. The canopy has been masked up. Unfortunately, due to the special hobby nature of the kit, it doesn't quite sit nicely on its own. You'd need to do a little bit of work if you wanted to have it closed, but I think we're going to be holding this one back, and even then it needs to just sort of be glued down. It needs to be held down as it will spring up a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, all in all, when you get to this stage of this type of build, it's quite nice. This has been a trial in places, as you've seen, but at this point you sort of forgive it for all of those things, and we've got a very nice looking Boomerang, which is one of those aircraft that's sort of bordering on so ugly it's pretty, but you can be the judge of that. Next up after this is obviously, this has had a gloss coat over the decals, matte coat over that on top. All the small parts are added now. There is just the is it the pitot tube? I'm losing my mind, it's been such a long weekend. But we've got the one bit there on the front to go, and that's pretty much everything. So the next stage on this is panel line washes. Then we'll start going through the different stages of weathering. Hopefully we're not going to have to go too far. I've been speaking to the customer, and we may be able to draw a line on it somewhere nearer than actually going too much on it, because it looks pretty nice as a clean build. So thanks for tuning in. We'll bring this to a close next week, so I'll actually be up at the show, but I'll put this one live and have it up ready to go before, with some good detailed pictures, and that'll bring this build series to a close. So I'm very glad that you've followed along so far, and hopefully you look forward to next week's. As I say, a more detailed rundown when I've managed to have a bit of a break from it and think about what I want to say on Tuesday. And I'll see you then.